Hello. Have you had an encounter with Islam already? What do you know about Islam? Is it that you formed your own stereotypical impression or perception about this religion based upon reading from people that are biased against the religion? Or is it because you've had a rough encounter with one Muslim or another, making you think that the negative example you saw is a reflection of what Islam or Muslims represent? Islam is one of the most beautiful religions in the world. Islam advocates compassion, it advocates good neighborliness, it advocates taking care of the poor and needy, it advocates being there for people while they are alive. It tells you about what happens when we leave this mundane and transient world. If there is any religion that can serve as a way of life that covers every facet of human existence, then I think Islam is that religion. This religion is hinged upon 5 pillars. The first pillar is Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, that you bear testimony based on strong conviction and faith that there is no God other than God, the God you know, the God of Abraham, the God of Ishmael, the God of Jesus, the God of Prophet Muhammad, the God of Adam, the God who created the heavens and the earth. We call it monotheism or Tawheed. So when the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may the blessings and peace of God be upon him, came, for so long, the 4 other pillars didn't exist, or for some time. We only had to bear testimony that there was no God but the true God, and that Prophet Muhammad was only one of a chain of prophets and messengers that had been sent to guide mankind to the true path. Then the second pillar of Islam is that you should pray 5 times a day. You should commune with God Almighty 5 times a day. And this makes Islam quite unique and extraordinary. At 5 different times in the course of the day, you are to stand up in prayer, seeking forgiveness from God, doing supplication, and seeking closeness to Him. And before every prayer, you do the wudu, you make ablution, or you perform ablution. You wash certain parts of your body before you stand up before God Almighty. You should look clean when you stand up before Him. But all of us are culprits. I'm no exception. When we are home and it's time to pray, we just grab the nearest t-shirt, the nearest cloth, or garment, or garb, or costume that is close to us. We don't take time to look for the best. One of the caliphs, the second one who came after the Holy Prophet, anytime it was time to pray, he would put on his best and look his best. Up to a time, the companions would ask him, "Where are you traveling to?" Because it is when you are traveling that you prepare that much. But he felt it was an important moment to stand before the Creator, that you would even consider it greater than going to see a dignitary. How would you feel if you had a call to meet your country's president? You would put on your best. Then the president of that president, the owner of the world and what it contains, is God Almighty. So standing up in prayer, and for males, praying in a congregation, getting to know the condition in which the community is. You know, if there is anything that any center that should serve the communities, then it's the mosque. It goes beyond the ritual prayer. It's about coming together. It's about pursuing a common goal, a common sense of purpose, finding out the well-being of each other in the community, and coming together to do projects, setting up a clinic, getting good schools for the people. So prayer seeks to bring us together, and it's also a constant reminder for us. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. And indeed, prayer, constant prayer, would dissuade you from debauchery and anything the religion frowns upon. And the third pillar of Islam is to fast in the month of Ramadan. And when you fast in the month of Ramadan, you abstain from food, whether it is liquefied or coagulated. That's why we don't have a distinction between dry fast and white fast. It's just fast, staying away from food from dawn to dusk, any form of food, and staying away from your wife, and staying away from sexual intercourse, and staying away from anything that is evil from dawn to dusk. It teaches you tenacity, it teaches you discipline, it also teaches you to empathize with the poor and needy that don't have what to eat. So it teaches compassion, and also has its own health benefits and all that. Then there's zakat, giving out alms. And the Quran says, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً. You should take from them their sadaqah, تُطَهِّرُهُمْ بِهَا وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. So Islam believes in an equitable distribution of wealth. And the time when Muslims were Muslims, during the golden age of Islam, we formed the best of states. We established the best of nations, where the gap between the rich and the poor was always bridged rather than expanded. And there's a story that is told about Umar bin Abdul Aziz, one of the greatest rulers we've had in the history of Islam. In his kingdom, or in his time, you could go out with something to give out to the poor, but you wouldn't find anybody to, because today we talk about macroeconomic indicators. The macro management of an economy is micromanagement, economic theories, economic fundamentals, and all the economic indices and all that. It is just basic that you don't continue to empower those that are wealthy already. Take from their wealth and give to the poor. Redistribution, equitable redistribution of wealth. But we live in an inequitable economic circumstance today in the world, where people who take salaries in 5 digits continue to do that, and people who take salaries in the lower end of a 3 digits continue to wallow in squalor. So Islam says no. Zakat is meant to bridge the gap between the poor and the rich. And then, of course, zakat funds or monies can be used to educate people, give us a better healthcare delivery, get portable water for people, fix roads, and do a lot of other things that would make life easy for everybody. Then the last pillar of Islam is traveling to the sanctuaries of Mecca and Medina, reenacting the ritual that was carried out by Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Islam is not like an isolated religion. So when you mention religions, Shintoism, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, then Islam. Islam is a continuation of the 3 heavenly religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But in the sight of God, all of these religions can be reduced or interpreted as completely surrendering to the will and might of God Almighty. So the religion means peace. It means complete and total submission to God. So the religion Jesus came with, we believe, was this total submission to God. The religion Abraham came with, the religion Moses came with, the religion all the prophets and messengers came with, was total submission to the will of God. So it was Islam. So traveling to do what Abraham did, and the additions the Holy Prophet Muhammad and the guidance he gave, that is called the Hajj, the pilgrimage. So this is all that Islam is about. It wants you to live happily in this world. You can only give to the mosque as much as you have. It won't tie you down. So you give 10% of your salary every month to the mosque. Now you can give as much as you have and as little as you have. It's an easygoing religion. You lead a very peaceful life. You lead a family life. You live within your means. You live in peace and you die in peace. And it is our hope that you will be resurrected in peace and admitted to paradise. So take some time and read about Islam. Read from the right sources. Ask questions to the right people to give you the right answers about this great religion. So I'm a Muslim and I'm proud to be, and I happily welcome you to give serious consideration to Islam. Thank you so much and take care. Bye-bye.